Everything started getting more serious the moment some powerful politicians noticed that Peter Obi was no longer just an ordinary opposition figure. What many people first saw as a small political movement suddenly became one of the biggest political forces Nigeria had seen in years. That was when the tension quietly started building behind closed doors. The senator speaking on this matter explained that some top politicians became uncomfortable after seeing the kind of crowd Peter Obi was attracting everywhere he went. From Lagos to Abuja, from Kano to Port Harcourt, young people were coming out in large numbers. Even Nigerians living abroad started talking more about Nigerian politics because of Peter Obi's movement. That alone changed the entire political atmosphere in the country. Now listen carefully because this part is very important. The senator revealed that some politicians allegedly began holding quiet meetings immediately after the election. Their goal was simple. They wanted to stop Peter Obi from becoming even stronger before 2027 politics fully begins. They understood that if they allowed the Obidian movement to continue growing freely, it could become a very serious political challenge later. And honestly, when you look at the situation carefully, you will understand why many politicians became worried. Peter Obi built a strong connection with ordinary Nigerians. Many young people saw him as somebody speaking directly about hardship, jobs, insecurity, and the economy. Even people who never cared about politics before suddenly became active online defending him every single day. That level of support shocked many experienced politicians. And viewers, if you are enjoying this gist already, quickly like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because this story gets more interesting as we continue. Now, according to the senator, one of the first plans allegedly discussed was how to weaken opposition unity before the next election season fully arrives. Some politicians believed that if opposition figures remained divided, it would become easier to control the political landscape again. That is why recently you have been hearing so many discussions about coalitions, alliances, party disagreements, and possible defections. One day you hear one politician is joining forces with another. The next day you hear there is disagreement over leadership. Another day you hear somebody wants to become vice president. Then another rumor starts again. All these things are happening because serious political calculations are already going on quietly. And this is Nigerian politics for you. Sometimes politicians smile together publicly while secretly fighting politically behind the scenes. That is why every move now is being watched carefully by supporters and political analysts. Now, another thing the senator allegedly mentioned was media strategy. According to him, some politicians believed that reducing Peter Obi's popularity online would help weaken his influence among young Nigerians. Remember, social media played a huge role during the last election. Many young people used TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram to campaign heavily for Obi. Some traditional politicians did not fully understand how powerful social media had become until the election period shocked everybody. That was when many political camps allegedly started reorganizing their media strategies. And honestly, viewers, this is why you now see political conversations everywhere online almost every single day. One small statement can trend nationwide within minutes. One interview can create serious political debate. One rumor can spread across the entire country before evening. Politics has changed completely. Now let me tell you another interesting part of this story. The senator also hinted that some politicians allegedly tried to create confusion inside opposition circles. According to him, they understood that if Obi's supporters remain united and emotionally connected, it may become difficult to stop the movement politically. So what happens in politics sometimes? Confusion starts appearing from different directions. Suddenly fake rumors begin spreading. Suddenly bloggers start reporting disagreements. Suddenly supporters begin arguing online. Suddenly party leaders start making confusing statements. All these things can affect public confidence slowly if people are not careful. But despite all these alleged plans, Peter Obi supporters still remained active. Even after the election ended, many Obidians continued defending him strongly online and offline. And that surprised many politicians again. Usually after elections, movements become quiet after some months. But this particular movement continued staying active politically. That alone showed that the support was deeper than many people originally thought. Now viewers, let me ask you something. Do you think Peter Obi still has the same political strength today, like during the election period? Drop your answer in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe, because this gist is becoming hotter. Now another major issue creating tension is coalition talks. Some opposition politicians understand clearly that defeating a strong ruling structure is never easy when opposition parties remain divided. That is why there are increasing discussions about alliances ahead of 2027. But coalition politics itself comes with plenty of problems. Everybody wants influence. Everybody wants recognition. Everybody wants negotiation power. And when strong political figures come together, disagreements can happen very quickly. Some people want Peter Obi to remain independent. Others believe he should join bigger alliances. Some even believe a completely new political structure may emerge before the next election. And this is where the political game becomes very complicated. Because behind every smile you see publicly, negotiations are happening privately. Promises are being discussed. Agreements are being negotiated. Political interests are being protected. That is how politics works everywhere. Now, according to the senator, some powerful politicians allegedly believed that if Peter Obi becomes too comfortable politically, his popularity could increase even more before 2027. So they reportedly started looking for ways to slow down his momentum early. And viewers, this part is very important. Politics is not only about elections anymore. It is also about controlling narratives. Who controls the public conversation? Who controls public sympathy? Who dominates social media? Who keeps attracting headlines daily? All these things matter seriously in modern politics. And honestly, Peter Obi remains one of the few Nigerian politicians whose name still creates heavy engagement online anytime he speaks. That alone makes him politically important, whether people support him or not. Now, another thing many people are noticing is how early 2027 discussions have started. Usually, people expect serious political talks much later. But already politicians are positioning themselves quietly. Governors are holding meetings. Party leaders are discussing alliances. Supporters are reorganizing. Political calculations are happening everywhere. And this early preparation shows how important the next election may become. Now let me break this English down small so everybody can understand properly. What the senator is simply saying is that some politicians allegedly became afraid that Peter Obi might become too powerful politically if nothing is done early. So according to him, they started planning strategies to weaken his movement before the next election season becomes fully active. Simple. Now, whether all these allegations are completely true or not, one thing nobody can deny is that Peter Obi remains one of the strongest opposition figures in Nigeria today. Even many people who do not support him still admit that his political influence is very strong. And that influence is exactly what creates political tension. Now viewers, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because as we continue, the story gets even more interesting. Another thing increasing the pressure is Nigeria's economic situation. Many citizens are frustrated about hardship, cost of living, fuel prices, and insecurity concerns. Whenever hardship increases, opposition politicians usually gain more public attention because people start looking for alternatives. That is why many politicians are already preparing seriously, even though the election is still far away. Nobody wants to be caught unprepared politically. Now, according to insiders close to political discussions, some politicians also allegedly fear the emotional connection many young Nigerians have with Peter Obi. During the last election period, supporters defended him passionately everywhere online. Some even saw the movement almost like a political revolution for younger Nigerians. That kind of emotional political support can become very powerful during campaigns. And that is why many experienced politicians are watching carefully. Because once young voters become fully energized politically, elections can become unpredictable. Now let's talk about another serious issue: regional politics. Nigeria's political structure is heavily influenced by regional interests. Every zone wants political relevance. Every region wants representation. And politicians understand this very well. So before any major alliance succeeds, regional calculations must be balanced carefully. This is one reason coalition discussions can become very complicated. Who gets presidential ticket? Who becomes running mate? Which region gets what? Who controls party structure? These discussions are never easy. And according to the senator, these are some of the areas where political pressure may increase heavily before 2027. Now viewers, imagine this situation carefully. If opposition figures fail to unite properly, the ruling structure may become stronger. But if opposition politicians eventually come together successfully, then the election could become extremely competitive. That is why political meetings are increasing quietly across the country. Now, another interesting thing is the role of social media influencers and online political commentators. These people now influence political conversations heavily. One viral video can change public discussions. One interview can create nationwide reactions. One statement can dominate headlines for days. And because of this, politicians are paying more attention to online narratives than ever before. Peter Obi's supporters understand this game very well. That is why anytime political discussions start trending, you immediately see thousands of comments, debates, videos, and reactions online. Now viewers, I want you to be honest. Do you think social media can truly decide Nigeria's next election? Or do you believe traditional political structures still control everything? Drop your opinion right now and subscribe to this channel, because we always bring you interesting political gist in simple English everybody can understand. Now, another issue the senator allegedly mentioned was internal opposition rivalry. This part is very important. Not every opposition politician automatically agrees with another opposition politician. Sometimes they may all oppose the ruling party publicly, while secretly competing among themselves politically. And this can create serious problems. Ambition is powerful in politics. Everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants influence. Everybody wants national recognition. That is why maintaining opposition unity is never easy. And according to the senator, some powerful politicians allegedly understand these weaknesses very well and may try to use them strategically. Now viewers, let's be realistic. Politics is a game of strategy. Nobody enters politics without calculations. Every politician wants advantage. So when politicians see somebody becoming stronger politically, they naturally begin preparing counter strategies. That is exactly what this whole discussion is about. Now, despite all these alleged plans, Peter Obi himself has continued appearing calm publicly. He keeps talking about governance, economy, production, and national development. His supporters believe this calm approach increases his credibility politically. But critics argue that popularity alone may not guarantee victory unless strong grassroots political structures are also built nationwide. And honestly, both arguments make sense, because online popularity is important. But political structures also matter seriously during elections. Now viewers, this gist is getting sweeter and sweeter. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends, because many people need to hear this political story carefully.